Yeah, he would have been on his way after his meet. Rallick would have been on
Yeah.
his way after his meeting. So
So yeah, by the time you guys arrive, you see that Numac has replaced the portrait of Corio Fireblood in your lobby and is having an exasperated discussion with Gus, who needs 600 pieces of gold to pay Caitlin Chubb to cast a spell.
Lucius. Oh, thank God. Lucius, I can't find Linda or Kana. They're like her house is empty. It looks like it's been empty for a while, and Gus kind of like squints at Connor. Like, surely if they had been there recently, your ranger stuff would have told us, right?
Connor just flatly stares at Gus and goes, "Sure."
Okay.
I think I've managed to make arrangements where we might find out some of the answers to our conundrums tomorrow. We have a meeting with Journey tomorrow.
Oh, Linda and Kana haven't been here in 2 weeks. They disappeared.
Throw it there
Indeed.
again. We can break into Linda's place and investigate some more. Because it sounds like something has happened to her.
Numac asks Lucius if he wants him to take care of that.
Gus is like making a like a no motion.
And
No.
who are you again? Connor says to Numac.
He is a man who we saved from one of the
Flying pig.
Flying
Minions.
Pigs cultists.
This was all before Connor was born.
I... Okay.
And he
So-
considers it a point of honor to work for us.
That seems to be a theme with you guys, isn't it?
What?
Everyone feels the need to help you guys out.
I mean, you're here, aren't you?
Yes, that's what I mean. I'm sensing a pattern.
You know, we're adorable. Anyway,
I don't understand the aversion to breaking into her house.
listen to me. I disrespected Linda once.
Okay.
Once,
Be-
Connor.
Okay. Investigating her house is not disrespecting. It's actually the opposite of that because we're concerned about her.
Rallick. Ah, wait, I have an idea. Rallick, come with us. And Gus just grabs Rallick by the arms and says, fine, we're going to break into her house, but we're not kicking the door down.
Rallick would be
Fine, we
like,
don't have to get the door down.
remind me why we're doing this. What advantage do I have for breaking into this house?
Don't ask questions. Do it or I'll throw you in the ocean. Come on.
You can try. You can.
I have thieves' tools! Connor says, chasing after the two of them.
Very loudly, so all the moss caps hear.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? You're gonna have Rallick break
Have Rallick
into...
open the door. Yeah.
Okay.
Like at any point, if Lucius wants to stop this,
I mean,
you can
I mean,
try.
Rallick's not just being dragged. He's resisting, and he's still like, "Why are you wanting me to do this? Like, you're gonna have to give me reason."
because one of our people is missing and we need to find her.
We need patience, Gustavus. We don't need flying off the handle like this.
No, Patience is back in
He's-
Sigil.
But he's not gonna push. Look,
God
he's
damn it, Brick Road.
Look,
People
Rallick's
wearing the
gonna,
socks.
Rallick's
Well
gonna
done.
push back and be like, "Look, I have no qualms into breaking into a house if it serves an advantage, but you're gonna have to explain to me what's going on here if we're gonna go to any kind of this kind of risk."
We can
One
assume
of-
that at this point Rallick knows
Right.
everything about the situation they do. You know who Linda and Kana are, and they were supposed to be here. Now they're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my question is why, his question specifically is he just needs to be told, like, why are you, you're convinced they're in this house.
No, I'm convinced that like we don't know where they're at. We're trying to
We're
find
going-
clues. We're going to investigate.
Counterpoints. That. Yep. See, that's what we're doing. We're investigators.
Gus looks at you and says, "The disbelief every time you say that is really starting to like demoralize this company."
Where is Lucius on the plan to break into Linda's residence?
Lucius does not think it's a good idea. I think we should just stay. We should take our meeting with Journey, get caught up on the news of the past few weeks, and decide where to go from there.
So
if
what you're
Linda and Kana are in danger, it's not going to be served. We're not going to serve them well by running around like chickens with our heads cut off.
Besides, you don't just break into a house. If you were to need to gain egress to a place you don't, it's a complicated process that involves casing the joint, understanding who is at the place. It's not something you just go and do. It takes more preparation than that. I'm not a barbarian.
Is there anything else happening tonight if you're not going to break into this house?
Gus wants to break into the house.
Are you going to do it even if nobody goes with you?
No. Because I don't want to bust out. Like, all Gus could do is bust down the door, and he definitely doesn't want to do that.
Does anybody else have a picture of Treble, like, sticking his lip out? It's quivering a little bit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take the benefits of a long rest. As you awaken bright-eyed and bushy-tailed the next morning. Rallick, what do you do as far as setting up a meeting with these people and Nin?
He would explain the situation to them and say that he made contact with... Well, out here, I'll just do this. So, and he'll just, in the morning, when everybody's kind of together. So, regarding our business in... Was it Blue Worm?
Mm-hmm.
Our business in Blue Worm. I have made the necessary arrangements for you to meet as promised and discuss delivering the book. I merely need to have a time that's convenient for all, and then they are eager to do this meeting today.
Shall we meet this evening then? Because I think we all have some things that we need to take care of. We're gonna go for a couple of weeks.
Rallick will bow, and Rallick will just bow politely and say, "I see no reason why that would not that would not work."
Well, here's a reason why it won't work.
Okay.
Is Lucius spoke with Journey last night, which means Journey knows Lucius is back in town, which means King's 10 Sales knows Lucius is back in town. If you guys don't present this book that you found, that you stole on his behalf, he's going to want to know why.
Okay, in that case, no, I believe we need to do this as early as possible, so we don't arouse the suspicions of your king. Otherwise, you can't fulfill your end of the bargain.
Right. All right. Well, first thing, I guess, get a good pot of coffee in me, and we'll head over to wherever your
Where do you set up this meeting with Nin?
your band of ne'er-do-wells is.
I don't really know location-wise in Dunfoss, but I mean, I suppose we could do it.
Means you want it to be a public location, a private location?
Yeah, I mean, I could honestly do it probably in the back of. I don't think he would do it in the back of his bookshop, but I mean, it's possible to do. But yeah, private location would work.
So in your bookshop?
Yeah, we could do it in the back of the bookshop. Yeah.
Okay. So take a minute or two, and not a second more, and describe to these guys what kind of state your bookshop is in.
It's just a middling successful importer-exporter of books. It's a perfectly upstanding business within the located in Gnome Town in that district, dealing primarily in historical and magical texts.
I noticed you use the word. I noticed you use the word upstanding.
Did I?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Really unusual way to describe one's business.
Yeah, no kidding.
I assure you, if you have questions, you can investigate the progeny. It is
Oh, I
wholly
do
legal
not-
and go. It is wholly legal and a regular paying member of the Merchants Guild.
You guys get there.
I-
There's actually a sign above the door that just says "legal bookstore."
Yeah.
I have no questions.
Totally legit bookstore is the name of it.
Not a criminal front.
Up and up
Yeah.
booksellers.
Up and up.
I forget what the Fronties Meat Market. That's what it is.
Going into
Actually,
the back
that
room,
is its name. Up and up acquisitions. That's its name.
Nin and two of he's brought two men along with him, and today he's wearing riding leathers, big boots, has closely cropped black hair on his head and his face. So yeah, wearing riding livery. One of his accomplices is carrying a riding crop, acting like he's in a big damn hurry as he comes in the room. Very handsome, 20-something, salt of the earth kind of look to him today. And you escort your group and Nin into the back room, and he immediately takes... So in this back room, I mean, do you have a... Is there places to sit, or we just have like stacks of books, or what are we looking at here?
No. The back room would have a whole like little common room area, like almost like a break room with a fairly well appointed living area.
Then yeah, he just hunks down into one of the chairs and Gaston's his big muddy boots up onto your table. Without even asking, stuffs a pipe, lights it, looks over all of you. So, Flumph Inc., eh?
Most of us, anyway.
And his eyes rest on Rallick. Says, nice bracelets.
Rallick will merely shrug nonchalantly, as if it's the most natural thing in the world.
Lucius arches an eyebrow at that.
And he looks over at Gus for a moment. I guess I should ask, everybody came to this meeting, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Looks over at Gus for a moment. You look familiar.
My name's Gus. Get your feet off the table. That's rude.
And he laughs out loud, slaps his knee. Says, you're funny. I like that. Ah. But the gentleman would not. The gentleman doesn't like funny men. I believe that's why you no longer work for him. You found people more attuned to your sense of humor.
No, I just got... It was a little disconcerting how good I was at hurting people. Now get your feet off the table.
And without getting his feet off the table whatsoever, he looks over at Connor. Says, you would be Lucius, right?
Oh, no. Connor. That's Lucius.
Lucius raises his hand.
Looks over at Lucius. My apologies. You would be Lucius.
Lucius Udoc, at your service.
Very good. I'm led to believe that you have my book.
Rallick will say,
Lucius-
would you mind at least, I feel it would be necessary to show it as just a moment of surety to show that we do indeed have the book.
Lucius takes it out, holds it in hand, and looks to Rallick and says, now, we had an agreement with your associate here about how the custody of this book is to be managed.
Oh, do tell.
Wait, has this guy introduced himself at all?
This is the person that Rallick said you would be meeting this morning.
Rallick makes no introductions. That's his. If he decides to tell you his name, it's his business. So,
Yeah, this is Orsus Nin.
Okay.
This is
Okay,
his
gotcha.
contact in the Thieves Guild.
Okay.
and Rallick will say, yes, I'm merely presented it to them as a matter of this issue is a matter of presentation, and show them the advantage that all sides could gain from a mere alteration of the matter of presentation.
You seem fond of that word, advantage. How many people can have an advantage before nobody has one?
There's always advantage to any situation, and no end to the amounts. It's just merely a matter of situation.
Rallick, do you own a kettle?
He'll nod, indeed.
I would appreciate it very much if you would fill it with water and tea. And he shoos you out of the room.
Yep, he'll nod in acquiescence and bow and do so.
And in the meantime, and he beckons Lucius to step forward.
Lucius will stand up, book in both hands.
And then holds out one of his hands. And he's holding his pipe to his mouth and the other one, puffing smoke into your face.
Lucius don't care.
So right now he's holding his hand out, waiting for you to give him the book.
Now, I am given to understand that by handing this over to you, we're entering an arrangement that should be mutually beneficial to both of us.
Does understanding things make you comfortable, Lucius?
Absolutely.
Then I would not stand in the way of your understandings. And he gives you a curt nod and kind of forcefully moves his hand once or twice to really drive the point home that he would really like you to hand him over the book.
Lucius places the book in one hand, holds it with the other, and says, well, we will be holding your man Rallick to his word.
That seems to put Nin in a cheerful mood. Do you let go of the book?
Yeah.
Okay. Nin takes it, starts flipping through it kind of nonchalantly. Is not treating it with the kind of delicacy that you would expect of a book this old. Kind of manhandling a little roughly, almost, with these kind of lumberjack hands that he has. What are Connor and Gus doing while Rallick is out preparing tea?
Hey, random question. Do you know Choreo Fireblood by any chance?
By reputation only?
Okay. Does not surprise me.
What's he up to? We've been out of town for the last couple of weeks.
You're asking Nin?
Yeah.
He shakes his head and says, I'm sure I don't know.
Connor was only asking because they seem like the same kind of asshole to him.
No. This is a very different kind of asshole. Listen, I pride myself on being able to create many different nuanced kinds of asshole.
There's a granularity here that Connor does not care about.
There's a gradient that Connor does not see, yeah.
And then finishes kind of flipping back and forth through the book. This makes for rather dry reading, does it not?
It's a ship's log. What do you expect?
It's a ship's log that contains information valuable to the king.
What information would that be, I wonder?
You can ask the king.
Yeah, you'd have to ask the king on that.
I'm asking you.
Unfortunately, he does not trust us with the particulars of these situations.
Lucius, make an insight check. Gus and Connor, you can try to make this check too, independently.
Okay.
Insights check.
In Siget. That was gonna go flying off the table.
Gross.
Wow. Wow.
16.
Wow. That is a
15.
27.
All right, lots of insignificant going on tonight. So what had happened here was Nin asked, or you remarked that there's information in the book that the king wants. Nin asked what that was, and Lucius said that the king didn't tell them. All three of you noticed just for a second, that seems to catch Nin off guard. That was not the answer he was expecting. Nin then claps the book shut, hands it off to one of his two associates that came in with him, and the book disappears into one of their waistcoats.
If you were to press me for some speculation, I have any number of theories.
Oh, I had a big breakfast this morning, but there's always room for some speculation.
I have a feeling that the captain might seek whatever remains of this ship and whatever plunder or treasure it might still contain.
Looks over to Connor. What about you, Lucius? What do you think?
I'm Lucius.
Well, name's Connor. As for what I think, Lucius has a sound theory.
Rallick, are you actually out there putting a kettle on?
Oh no, he did it. Yeah, and he probably would have been back in and pouring it at this point.
Well,
at
after,
least.
about this time in the conversation, you guys hear the whistle of the kettle in the other room. And as Rallick comes back in, he's pouring everybody a cup of tea. Very notably, Nin does not say thank you. He just consumes the tea very greedily, as do his two associates. Nin spends the next few moments kind of rapid fire, changing subjects kind of all over the place. Wanted to know which among you supported 10 sails for king, and if perhaps one or more of you supported one of the other contenders instead, until it became apparent that 10 sails was going to win. Does anybody have a curious answer in that regard?
Well, they don't like it when I talk. So Connor says nothing.
Nin asks, why is that?
I have been known on occasions to alienate clientele, Connor says forcefully out of his mouth.
And then smiles
Just like
broadly.
we rehearsed.
Good job. And we pat him. I pat him on the head.
Nin asks Rallick what odds he would give Connor on alienating him.
Rallick would look over and would say, "I could not presume to make such a speculation. On this end, he is a unique individual, to say the least."
Well, in my business, I find that it often behooves oneself to hear from the people, and kind of glares at Lucius and Gus for a moment, to listen to the types of people that others would not have speak. So Connor, and you hear a kicking sound as he kicks one of the other chairs of the table out, and he bids you sit right next to him at the table. Says, let us have a conversation.
Connor looks at it suspiciously.
It's just a chair.
Yeah, but all right. Connor sits.
Okay. Nin asks how long you've been working with Flumph Inc. Some softball questions like that at first, kind of making small talk kind of stuff. Doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Again, the subject changes back and
Sure.
forth. The first question that actually seems important, and he just kind of drops it very loosely, is why the king would count you amongst his trusted men.
Well, it's no secret that Flumph Inc. helped him ascend to the throne. That's why he considers us among trusted men.
Were you behind
And-
that big message in the sky? What did it say? Starve out the traitor queen? A stroke of genius. Who was behind that?
That was Alex, if I remember correctly, right? Yeah.
That was Alexander.
Yeah. I was Alexander.
Why do you think people don't like you, Connor?
Well, I don't trust people, and I don't have a filter.
You don't trust people in general, or you don't trust specific people? Do you trust these people? Motions to your companion standing behind you.
I trust them more than I don't. It's a rotating thing.
They've gotten you into a considerable amount of trouble, haven't they, Connor?
That's subjective.
But they have.
Sure.
And this trouble, on average, let's say, would you say more your fault or more their fault?
I've been pretty good. Lately, a little my fault. Mostly their fault.
Mostly their fault.
Yeah. It's a weird question, though.
So, they're getting you into trouble. Mostly it's their fault. And you're the one they don't allow to speak.
Yeah.
Gus is gonna look at you. How many bars have you gotten you and me kicked out of because you accused the waitress of being a fey princess?
It's not my fault that she starts acting like one.
Connor.
Yeah.
Well, Rallick, what, if anything, would you have told these people about Nin before now?
I don't think we told
Absolutely
her very
nothing.
much.
Nothing. Okay. Nin goes back to just the softball conversation. At this point, it's getting awkward for the rest of you because Nin does not. Once Nin learned that Connor wasn't allowed to talk, Connor was the only person he wanted to talk to.
Perfectly fine.
Connor, do you trust your instincts?
My instincts are all I got.
All you is it, that's a yes then.
Yeah.
Gut feeling. First answer that comes to your head.
All right.
Would you have me deliver this book to the king, or would you have me burn it? Gut instinct. Should have answered by now.
It's not a gut instinct question. I got to think about it. Deliver it to the king.
If I had a job for you, Connor, would you take it?
We have very reasonable rates.
I'm not asking Flumph Inc. I'm asking you.
Well, they're my employer, so jobs I take have to be with their consent, and I've been told the company line is we have very reasonable rates.
Do they tuck you in at night, Connor?
There was that one time.
Do they launder your breeches?
What are you going on about? Just get to the point.
Do they remove the crusts from your bread at mealtime? Do
Connor rolls his eyes.
Do they make your decisions?
What's the job?
Oh, I don't have a job. I was asking hypothetically if I did. Would you?
Ah! If you don't have a job, then this whole conversation is moot.
And then leans back in the chair and seems to consider the answer for a moment. Takes a deep puff of the pipe and blows some smoke rings out over the table.
If I have a question, would you answer it truthfully? If I ask you a question, would you answer it truthfully?
If I felt like it.
Can respect that. You pride yourself on information, don't you?
Information is useless. Most information
believe
is
you.
completely devoid of value. Just stand on any street corner and fill a ledger of all the things you overhear people saying. Everybody's name is information. Everywhere somebody walks is information. Everything you overhear, every copper that trades hands, perhaps a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of it has value.
A fraction of a fraction of a fraction has value.
Perhaps, if I'm being charitable. Most people aren't as important or as interesting as they think they are.
Sure. That having been said, you sure have asked a whole lot of questions for someone who doesn't find any value in information.
I think I perhaps do have a job for you, Connor.
Well, then perhaps we have very reasonable rates.
Oh, I won't be paying you for this job. In fact,
Oh, all right.
I'll be giving you a gift.
I don't do well with gifts.
We'll call it a charge, then.
Okay.
You're the king's trusted men. Presumably. This is still the case. And you told me to deliver the book, and so I shall.
Connor gives a little side eye to Rallick.
Nin says that the job is to go back to your barge and make a place there for Rallick to operate. There, from henceforth, Rallick will be an operative working inside of Flumph Inc. And your job is to make sure he stays on task. What do you think?
Lucius looks as though he's about to protest.
Connor shrugs, says, fine with me, but... And Connor looks at Gus and Lucius.
It's your decision, Connor.
Yeah, fine with me. Sure.
Nin looks very pleased at this.
Lucius does not.
And Nin
Gus
stands,
does not care.
claps his hands together, packs the pipe away, and says that they will be delivering the book to the king within the week.
Very well.
That puts you, of course, in the unfortunate position of having to explain to your king why you don't have the book that he sent you to find, but I'm sure you'll think of something. You've got Connor here, and he has a good head on his shoulders.
Stone-faced.
Does anybody have anything else for Nin before the end of this meeting?
Why did we hand the book over again?
Because that was the deal we made with Rallick to get the book in the first place.
Yeah, it was something along the lines of we give it to this guy who will give it to the king and say both groups did it. Correct?
Yeah, that was the initial concept, but you know how things like tend to fade with time and memory, and our brains are all, or at least my brain is all complete garbage.
So nothing else for Nin? In which case he takes his leave.
Okay.
That'll be a good place to take our break for the day. It is... Go ahead and get your coffee, get your bagel. We'll reconvene at 4:15.